Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Matt Latter and today we're going to continue our Pillars of Eternity Let's Play series. So in the last episode we've managed to solve some marital problems, so to speak, and got our first inhabitant for our dungeon. We'll have to check up on that in a little while. For now, let's talk to Adair.
The dozens. Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Then there'd be less of them.
He doesn't have a high opinion of them, neither do I, apparently. So, why do they call themselves the Dozens? Was 12 Deerwoodens stood outside Halgor Citadel waiting for Waidwin to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. So what do you have against the Dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The Dawsons, they like to take things into their own hands. Gets ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked out the names so they could do whatever they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with the honor or sacrifice. They like to invoke Magron too when they especially want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be too impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire anytime they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Here's a funny one. People hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duke's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay, we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. Don't imagine they'd have as many members if they called themselves the loudmouth sheepfuckers. So, Godhammer? That's what they call the bomb they blew up Waidwin with. Don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you gotta name it. Well, let's continue. Good idea. Let's quickly rest. We're halfway depleted on two of our characters, and you never know when the next big question suddenly breaks loose. So... Well, there's some interesting options, and I'm probably going to go with Fletcher Stay. We have 3 ranged characters, and athletics and mechanics is always welcome. Got me something to drink real quick while that happened. So, let's continue our trek through the city. When it has loaded. Finally. Okay, now it's nighttime. Let's maybe check out the marketplace if there's something of interest there. Oh, actually, we have the next one who wants to talk. Sukhani. Sukhani draws up beside you, her fox following at her heels, and takes a seat next to you.
Even if you are putting one over on me, it's nice to have a hunting party again.
Sounds like you've been gone from home a long time.
5 years for me. Must be 30-something for Ichimak.
Hearing its name, the fox looks up. What an adventure!
It certainly started out that way. It's been a long hunt. A long time away from my family. Before, I'd crossed the tundra of Nasitok following caribou herds. I didn't want to leave Kalu and our children, but I was eager to visit lands my people rarely do. But 5 years without finding him. It's like 2 hours of necking. I'm ready to be done with it.
So apparently she's a mother of several children. So why do you have to find Persok?
Soul recovery is an old village tradition. We call it the Tarnek Elitsak. Once in a generation, we seek the soul of a much respected and long dead village elder. We tell him what's changed in the village, how people remember him. The only other Tarnek Elitsak during my lifetime happened when I was a girl, not long after Persok died. We feasted on blubber and fermented milk for a week, and we honored the chosen huntress as a hero. Then she left, and we returned to our duties. We still sang her name to the skies during festival season, but we otherwise didn't speak of her.
I'm sure your village still remembers you, Sukhani. You're kind to say so, but I'm not so fragile that I need my name chanted in the meeting halls.
It's not being forgotten by my village that troubles me. But sometimes I wonder how my husband and children remember me, if they think of me often.
Of course they do. They must. I would like to believe it, and yet sometimes days go by and I realize that they have not crossed my thoughts. Such days are rare, but they happen. She looks away, tugging at the strap of her quiver. It shames me to think of it, but more than that, it scares me.
Still, there's no point in dwelling on it. More often I find myself wondering whether Persock will remember us. You claim to see souls. What do you think? Do you remember your past lives?
In fragments, I do. She leans a hair's breadth closer. Really? What was it like? Well, I've been learning a lot about myself.
Good things, I hope. Maybe Persock will be the same way. Would make my job of telling him about the village a lot easier.
What would you tell him about your village?
Masuk is probably much the same as it was 100 years ago. We live between tundra and frozen forests, and the land takes as much as it gives. But our hardships bring us together. And the elders truly unite us. They keep the stories of past generations, and they guide us from season to season, through good years and lean.
Ichumak brushes against her hip, and she scratches his head. Recently, there have been a lot of good years. My aunts say we've had fewer clashes with neighboring villages thanks to the hunting territories that Persock helped establish. In bad years, we rely on trade with the merchants that pass our shores. We exchange walrus tusks and seal pelts for grains that last us hard winters. Persock brokered a lot of those agreements too. She holds up a bear figurine. He got this one from one of the Omana ships that used to trade with us. It sounds like Persock did a lot for your people.
That's what I'm supposed to remind him.
Sounds like you're on a hunt of your own, though. You feeling the thrill of the chase, or ready for this to be over? Yeah, I enjoy the adventure. Every day brings something new. She laughs and thumps her knee, just what I expect from a rugged outdoorsman. It's refreshing to travel with someone else who can appreciate the scent of a trail, that's for sure. We got that one because we're explorer. She rises and stretches, looking around. We've got darkness on our side. Shall we move on? Yeah, I'd like to talk some more. Tell me about your homeland. Nasitak? She rubs her nose with one broad finger. It's a big island in the middle of the Deadfire archipelago, just off the coast of the White Dead Winds. Tundra, mostly, with a few snow-covered forests in the warmer parts. Most of us live in fairly small villages, by standards here anyway. Mine is Masuk. So, what is Nasitak like? She shrugs. Cold, but not as cold as the White Dead Winds, which is where I'm from. The few kith who visit Nasitak find it sparse, but there's plenty to sustain a village if you know where to look. She ticks the items off her collar's fingers. We get hides and meat from the caribou, seals and small whales. Bone too, which makes fine bows and arrowheads. Community is important to us. We survive or perish together, so everything we do, every week-long hunt, every wall we build, is for the village. Who lives there? Mostly Enutanik, like me. People here call us the Boreal Dwarves. Migratory clans of Glamfallon from the White Dead Went sometimes spend the colder seasons on Nasitak, but we don't see too many foreigners who can tolerate the elements. She pats the weather-bronzed arm. Pats a weather-bronzed arm. Those of us born in Nasitak like to say we have a hardy layer of sealskin just beneath our flesh. Tell me more about the village. We're a tundra village. To an outsider's eyes, we're probably not much different from the others around us, but our elders have stories that go back hundreds of years. Epic hunts, battles with neighboring villages, sojourns across the sea. We share these stories too. But that is all. We'll explore more of those options in some other episodes. Very good. Let's talk to that guy. Hello again, the old woman says in familiar tone. Thanks for visiting my store. Oh, right. Now I know where the name comes from. She was a merchant we met in front of the city, with the ferry. I'm still trying to recover from losing that cargo, she says with a huff. My inventory isn't what it used to be, but hopefully I've got something you'll like. Show me what you have. Holy balls, lots of traps. And a rope and grappling hook. We'll buy that one. Okay, how about Laura?
Hail, traveler.
The young woman stands by a cart, watching the crowd with large, bright eyes that focus on you as you approach. Take your time, traveler. If you're looking for enchanted scrolls or garb, you've come to the right place. That sounds interesting. A ring of wizardry. Ooh. +2 second level spell users, +1 fourth level spell user. That is massive. I like. Costs more than we have in total. Gonna have to keep this thing here in mind, definitely, for when very hard combats are upon us. We can buff out here.
Good day to you.
Narmer. The merchant smiles brightly. Well met, traveler. Are you interested in purchasing any rations for your journey? So you've got food. No interest right now. Both characters? Yeah. And here we have probably the Worms merchant.
Hail and well met.
Igrun stands behind a stall, polishing a broadsword. The patterned flesh around his eyes is crinkled with age, and the muscles in his arm are knotty and lean, but he holds a weapon with ease. He nods at you. Come to take a look? You won't find a finer collection of armor and weaponry in Defiance Bay. Outside Sonald's, of course. He flashes a crooked grin. What's so special about Sonald's? She operates in the expedition hall. He jerks a thumb over his shoulder. Sells the best equipment in the city, but Wenan keeps her on a short leash. Keeps her fine inventory reserved for chartered expeditionists, members of the Dozens, and anyone else he takes a liking to. Show me what you have for sale. The Lady's Hand, a unique scepter. More accuracy when below half hit points. And more damage. Raise is converted to hits, more accuracy, more damage. Not bad. The Lost Thane's Reach, a two-handed pike. Oh, minus accuracy on hit. And more reach. Ooh, that I like. Okay. Star Shatter, or Shatter Star actually. A unique warhammer. More enemies engaged. More accuracy and damage. Not bad. And Borsane. Ooh, Life Leech Bow. Attacks can stun on crits. Oh, that is sweet. Also more accuracy and damage. Oh, there's some good stuff in here. I like. And you know what? Since I'm apparently collecting these. Okay. Anything else the map tells us perhaps is here? Let's speed up. More stuff we can simply take. A fish. Well, better than nothing. Here we have the shields have been battered and scarred in long ago battles. This is the expedition hall. We've been told about that. There's just some random poetry in here. And random beer. We just take it. Same descriptor text. What's this house? No description. Okay, let's just try to go in. Do as adventurers do. Just go in and see what's in. Langdon and Dirty Rigbert. Seems like an adventurer party. Right, everyone knows the plan? Dirty Rigbert, up the wall and in the window. Grab the jewel for the petty little lord. We got it. Listen, dwarf, if I have to... Langdon, we have company. What's going on here? A smile like a ragged scar stretches across the man's face. That's the least of your concerns, friend. You've made a grave mistake in coming here. Okay. Let's engage those guys. Okay, there's a spellcaster who has to die. You have the Mark Prey, the wounding shot. What did it do again? A hobble. Dex reduced and movement reduced. Yeah, not that great. But you go ahead and necrolance that fucker. And then I'd like to have a blessing. About here. And we continue with some missiles of a magical nature. There you go. 1 down, 2 down. That's going nicely.
Dead on.
And 1 more down. So this sounded like we're interrupting some robbers here. Well, let's see what that was about. I'm sneaking around here on purpose, by the way. Oh, a thief's letter. We'll have to read up on that one. Got tossed in the stash. That I don't like. The rest can go actually into the stash. Let's read it before we forget about it. Out here. Where did it go? Here. Thief's letter. Our contact inside Raymond Manor will leave a second story window ajar. He's confirmed the location of the Heart of the White March in a hidden chamber. Get your crew together and head to the Brackenbury before Lord Raymond moves the jewel. AD. Ah. Let's see about that. I've learned of a plot to rob Brackenbury nobleman Lord Raymond, and a letter that describes the plans in detail. I unintentionally thwarted the would-be thieves when I stumbled upon their hideout. Their notes lay out instructions for breaking into Lord Raymond's manor and stealing something called the Heart of the White March. The letter would probably be of interest to both Lord Raymond and someone with the initials AD. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out. More stuff. Let's rob everything blind. Normal pistol. And the table has more money. Long, jagged tears slice across the garden scene in this painting. A few bedrolls and spare tunics are bundled in the corner. So let's crack this lock.
That's settled.
And inside is a bunch of gold. Ah, I knew sneaking would
Let's see what lies
be worthwhile at some point.
See what lies this way.
Okay, everyone form up, and then we open here. Anyone else inside? Doesn't quite look like it.
Something
Ah
over
yeah,
there.
sneaking works. All manner of traps and interesting things. House Dominel. Muddy boot prints and splotches of ale stain the bedsheets. Ooh, wow. A lot more gold there. And in here... Dunrid Row. So that was an interesting find here. Let's stop sneaking and go outside. Well, more interesting things to be found. Just stumbling into quests here.
You're from Gilded Vale? Then you're close to home.
Close can mean a lot of things.
Surely you'll go back when this is all over.
Dunno. Guess that all depends.
Some intra-party banter, which I really appreciate. So before we go inside here, I'm actually wanting to explore the rest of these outdoor locations here. See what else is going on. Maybe stumble onto another few quests here and there. There's something in here. Lockpicks for our priest / thief. Just a car here. Nothing else, so let's go inside that house perhaps. Randomly entering homes so far has paid off. A painting. This painting depicts the famous scene from The Light of Dawn in which the traveler and the ghost happen upon a starving man. Good.
Let's see what lies this way.
Let's take randomly the beer in here, because why not? Who wouldn't steal beer? So we are quite literally just running around stealing whatever the fuck we can. Some noble ass paladin. Oh, we require a particular key here. Someone locked inside? Alright, reminds me. We should take a quick look at the Kate Noor log. Nothing new to report. How long is the construction still ongoing? Alright, I found Nirid in Copperlane, a hired thug impersonating a SVEF dealer who owed a debt to his supplier. He was using the identity to sell SVEF and thereby recoup the supplier's losses. Huh. So we could release him, but we won't. And out here... What was I building here? Finished in 7 hours. That's not too far away. Does the map tell what's here? Scrivener's dormitory. Let's go inside. Let's see what those scriveners are up to. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf are all the remain of a long study session.
Nice and slow.
Let's look around here. We have Corin. Let's talk to Corin.
Good day, stranger.
By Wales Isle's face, you're one short ogre. But why are you green, and how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? What the fuck? Let me guess, you smoked a lot of white leaf, or did you get your hands on some snowcap? He claps his hands and laughs. Snowcap, snowcap. So few people know snowcap, much less ogres. He beams at you and nods his head. Okay, you're a scrivener? He nods. Yes, I am a scrivener. I read books, I write books. I once ate a book, but only because it looked like sweet pie. Or perhaps it was sweet pie baked to look like a book. Interesting. Oh, I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. Mostly eat them. Okay, tell me about the dormitory. It's where the scriveners who work at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener. This place smells like old stockings. That dude is high as fuck. Okay, bunch of ingredients. Good to know. Maybe a sane person here we can talk to? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we leave again. Hall of Revealed Mysteries is also right next door, if I am correct. Let's see if anyone's standing in front of that. Just some biker characters so far. Nothing here. I like to explore the hub area before I go into the more detailed things. You were so lovely back then, says Dalton. This elderly man paces back and forth, taking short, hobble steps. His gaze is distant, and beneath it are dark rings of many restless nights. He appears to be having a conversation with someone who isn't there. And the way you fought, cutting down 2 at a time, we shared quite a victory, you and I. Who are you talking to? The man looks up at you startled. Oh, by the flame, for just a moment I thought I heard her. He puts a hand on his chest, catching his breath. What troubles you? Just the memories of my youth in the Northward Ranges. Trials and adventures from a lifetime ago, he shakes his head. Of late, the memory of lost battles and fallen friends have been especially vivid. Tell me more about these memories. It's been nearly 60 years. We were known throughout the Deerwood then. We thought we'd adventure together forever, collecting coppers and inspiring songs. The wrinkles around his eyes deepen. That was until we faced Halleck Fontaine. He was a wizard whose experiments in necromancy left a trail of bodies, some reanimated, from Solace Vale to Midwood. We tracked him as he fled toward the Valian republics, catching him just west of the Lake of Drowned Tombs. We were fools. Seasoned as we were not prepared for his foul magics. Our numbers were nothing against his power. A wiser man would have ordered a retreat. Not me. By some curse of the gods, I was knocked out, and when I awoke, my rangers, by Rowena, they were all dead. He holds empty air in his arms. Who is Rowena? My friend, my comrade at arms, and my love. We'd planned to adventure together until we grew old enough to settle down and enjoy our fortunes. Young as we were, we couldn't imagine anything would tear us apart. He gives you a closer look. I met others of your order in my younger days, braving perilous territory to help the helpless. I know this sounds like an old man's madness, but I hear her, a voice just over my shoulder, calling to me in my dreams. At night, I see her wandering the catacombs beneath the city, trying to escape. Nice, can't Wayfarer pass off here. Foolish as it sounds, I can't shake the idea that she's somehow down there, waiting for me. I've even ventured below, though it damn near cost me my life. He hesitates. Were I half the warrior I was in my youth, I'd search every grave and rat hole. As it is, I'm stuck with this feeble body and the agonizing notion that my love is somehow down there, beyond my help. Sure, I'll search the catacombs for a sign of Ruina. Tears spring to our old man's eyes. There's an entrance just southwest of here on the other side of the channel. He sniffs and wipes his eyes. You're truly a gift from the gods. If there is anything you can find of her, we'll take a look. You called upon our calling as a kind wayfarer, and we shall oblige. It is, after all, what we are. Is this the entrance? Yeah, to the catacombs. There's another. Psst, over here, mister. A young boy watches the passerby and counts a grimy handful of coins. His face and arms are smudged with dirt, but except for the grass stains, his clothes are in good condition. As you approach, he blinks and makes a quick, furtive effort to pocket his coins. Hey, mister, want to know a secret? He wipes his nose with a sleeve. I know a real good secret. Looks like we got a little hustler here. Someone's raised his kid right. Really, what is it? He shrugs and clasps his hand behind his back, kicking a loose pebble. I just saw folks hiding some real neat things. I could show you where, but Mom and Dad told me not to talk to strangers. His eyes slowly roll up you. But maybe you could help me with something, then we wouldn't be strangers. With what do you require help? Gordy's voice suddenly rises in pitch and tempo. The Crucible Knights have these daggers made out of March steel. It's the best steel around, except for Durgan steel, which doesn't count because no one makes it anymore. He stops long enough to catch his breath. Anyway, there's this merchant over by this expedition hall, and he has a dagger made of real March steel. His eyes grow large and round. He said he wouldn't sell it to me because I'm a kid, and kids don't know anything about daggers. But that's not true. I know lots about daggers. I know about the different kinds of steel. I know how the Crucible Knights make them in a forge. I know that it can pierce low-gauge scale armor, and one that good and sharp can cut through bone. See, I know plenty about daggers, and I really, really want this one. And if you could just get it from me, I promise I'll never ever ask anyone for anything ever again. I used to have a knife when I was his age. I don't know any better way to learn what you should and shouldn't stab. I say we give him a chance. Okay. Let's check our... Well, we are passionate. You can't have a dagger, you'll poke your eye out. But if I'm going to be a real warrior, I have to start training young, just like the heroes in the stories. I just know I was a great warrior in a previous life. My mom even says I have an old soul. Ah, well. This is a fantasy world. There's probably lots of kids running around with weapons. One way or another. Yeah, let's help. Gordy jumps up and down, whooping and hollering. A new real adventurer would understand. He points to a large building. There's a big merchant over by Admiral's stand who sells weapons. He's the one with the dagger. I'll wait right here for you. His gap-toothed grin stretches from ear to ear. Not sure that's the best decision, but... well, I made the decision, now run with it. So, something in here. Yeah? Lumdala and Kedal, an audience member and some actors. Let's save for a moment here. The statuesque woman has a gaze that could cut stone. She turns her chiseled cheekbones to the sky and favors you with a look of acknowledgement. Her eyes shimmer under silvered eyeshadow and razor-precise line of kohl. Before you can speak, she throws her hands up in a dramatic fashion.
How do you do?
Autographs out of the performance, please. Great art requires great concentration, and greatness is expected from the Revel of Stars. What is the Revel of Stars? We are the finest theater group in the city. We believe that the best art is immersive and true to life. She looks at the amphitheater with a rapturous expression. We stage our performances right here in Copperlane for the edification of all. I suppose I can spare a few moments for a fan? What do you do exactly? That depends entirely on the demands of the role. She lays her slender hand on her chest. I am the Pallid Knight, the Widow of the Wood, and the Warrior Queen Mokka, all at different times. To live a different life each day is a glorious thing indeed, my friend. Do you take new members? But of course, good drama is a balm to the soul, and we wish to offer a true theatrical experience to as many as possible. What kind of members do you take? We'll take in the new and the old, the tall and the small, the experienced and the inexperienced, whoever is best suited to fulfill the role to the utmost. How long do you keep members? As long as they are able to satisfy the demands of their role. She smooths a wayward strand of hair. True acting can be a grueling process, so some last longer than others. Okay, goodbye. Kadal, let's talk to him. Sorry, can't talk right now. So there's a play in process here, in the middle of the night. Sounds like good timing. Anyways, I'm gonna call this episode here. We're already a bit over half an hour, roughly speaking. And yeah, I thank you all for watching. I hope you've had some fun. If you did, consider commenting, liking or subscribing. You can also follow me on Twitter @_MattLatter. And other than that, I hope you've had some fun and hope to see you the next time. Goodbye.